Out of Charlotte, North Carolina. That's where 8 law enforcement officers were ambushed and shot in the line of duty. 4 of them have died. The other 4 are hospitalized. Our Audrey Russo is here with the very latest this morning. Good morning, Audrey.
Good morning, Alicia. This morning, we're seeing pictures of 3 of the 4 officers who were killed in the attack. Sam Paloche and Alden Elliott were both on the fugitive task force that was carrying out this warrant. And Charlotte Mecklenburg police officer Joshua Ayers died late last night, we're learning, from his injuries. Now, there is a 3rd officer who was on the regional task force who was killed, and he has not been identified yet. Now, this morning, police confirmed that the suspect who started shooting at the officers, Terry Clark Hughes Jr., is also dead. Police say he's a felon who should have never had a gun in the first place. In fact, the task force showed up to his house because of a firearms warrant. Now, overnight, President Biden released a statement on the shooting saying more needs to be done to protect officers. He said, quote, "That means funding them so they have the resources they need to do their jobs and keep us safe. And it means taking additional action to combat the scourge of gun violence now." And he went on to say that he's pushing for Congress to pass more gun control legislation. Now, right now, police believe there may have been a second shooter involved in this incident. The investigation will continue amid intense mourning in Charlotte. Coming up, we'll hear from the city's mayor as she reacts to this act of violence.
Shalom, shalom. Keepers of sheep, Yasil, back with another lesson. Lord will, this video is edifying. All right, before we begin, I'd like to first start off by giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, and shalom to the hopeful elect. All right, and today's lesson is titled, Charlotte Shooting Smells Like Jacob's Trouble. All right. So for those who are aware of the shooting that killed 4 officers, shooting 8 officers, but killing only 4, took place in Charlotte, North Carolina, Monday, April 29th, 2024. And it reads, this is a quick article from charlotte.northcarolina.gov, and it reads, Monday, April 29th, 2024, an armed suspect opened fire on law enforcement in the 5,000 block on Galloway Drive in the North Tryon Division. 4 Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department officers were shot, one of which succumbed to his injuries. Additionally, 4 officers from the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force were shot, 3 of which succumbed to their injuries. All right, so I'm guessing they died later at the hospital. On Monday, April 29, 2024, around 1:30 p.m., the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force, comprised of officers from multiple agencies, was conducting an investigation in the North Tryon Division at the home in the 5,000 block of Galloway Drive. The preliminary investigation indicates officers were attempting to serve active felony warrants on the male subject. As officers approached, the male subject discharged his firearm, striking multiple officers. These officers requested immediate response from other officers. As officers responded, the gunfire continued, striking additional officers. In total, 8 officers were struck during the gunfire. The officers were rushed to area hospitals. 3 task force officers were pronounced deceased at the hospital. One of the injured CMPD officers, Joshua Ayers, a 6-year veteran, fought for his life for several hours before succumbing to his injuries. Let's read it. Let's read about this. The male suspect exited the residence on Galloway Drive with a firearm. Law enforcement perceived an imminent deadly threat and fired their service weapons, striking the suspect in the front yard of the residence. So he died himself, took 4 lives plus his own, man. Hey, man, ultimately these are, spirits created for vengeance. Okay. And this is the Lord's work. Okay. It may seem evil. It may seem, wicked or, cruel or an act of violence. But ultimately, these are the works of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Matter of fact, let's grab that just to further prove that. All right. Because, we see these acts, we blame guns, or we blame police departments, or we blame, black people, white people, the community, the laws. But ultimately, these are just judgments, all right, sent out by the Heavenly Father. So this is Deuteronomy 32 and 39, and it reads, "See now that I, even I, am He, and there is no God with me. I kill, and I make alive. I wound, and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand." So, ultimately, it was the Lord who killed those men, all right, who wounded those men, all right, and who healed those men, those who survived the shooting, So, hey, it says, neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand, meaning it was all up to the Lord who lived or who died that day. Okay. But, back to the title at hand, Charlotte shooting smells like Jacob's trouble. These are, acts and signs of, the soon coming Jacob's trouble. And we'll grab that while we on that subject. Jeremiah 30 and we'll start at 4. "And these are the words that the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with a child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail? Our faces are turned into paleness at last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." Matter of fact, let's read down to 8. "For it shall come to pass in that day, said the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai of hosts," of armies, okay, "that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him." So that's what you see happening. You seeing Jake stand up, and that's a carnal act. I don't encourage nobody to shoot at police, all right, or use violent force against police or any other being or person, okay. But these are the works of the Lord. This is Jake standing up. These are those bonds, being broke. Okay. These are, Jake saying he's not serving these strangers no more. He's not serving these other nations no more. He's not bowing down to Esau no more. Okay. This is the work of the Heavenly Father. All right. It says, "At last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." Talk about the elect. All right, because you won't be saved, all right, by being carnal in this thing, by shooting at the police. All right, but these are the acts we can expect in Jacob's trouble, because it's a time like no other. All right, in the times past, it was always, the cops killing the blacks. Now it's reversing. These are times like no other. The times are reversing, man. We're seeing things we've never seen before. And we can expect those things to be worse. Okay, it says, "At last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And it being Jacob's trouble, meaning Jacob is becoming a target. And this specific event is a great way to target Jacob. You so-called Negroes, African Americans, Latinos, Hispanics, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Dominicans, Jamaicans, Haitians. Okay, this is the perfect way to target you. Okay, through events like this. And in one of the videos that you saw at the beginning, you seen that Donald Trump has, did a speech the night of, and he said, this just means, funding. Let's read it. It says that means funding them so they have the resources they need to do their jobs and keep us safe. So he's all for Jacob's trouble. He's all for targeting you so-called Latinos, Native Americans, and Hispanics. Jacob, man. All right. And he said again, and it means taking additional action to combat the scourge of gun violence. Now, meaning you can expect martial law. You can expect the police to beef it up. You can expect things you never seen before. All right. So that's pretty much it. Let me see. Matter of fact, one more precept before I close out. This is 2 Ezra 15:16. It reads, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power." And that's what you see happening. Jake is not, he's not regarding, the laws no more, the judges, the police departments, okay, the presidents. Okay, he's not the laws. He's not abiding by these things no more. It says, "For there shall be sedition among men." So there's gonna be sedition. There's gonna be something between the police department and you so-called Latinos, Native Americans, and Hispanics, man. All right, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. Okay, there's gonna be sedition. Okay, they shall not regard. It said, and invading one another. So you can expect police to, hey, we're not gonna say nothing crazy, but hey, eye for an eye. Okay, so you can expect things to worsen. But hey, Lord, what this video was edifying, man. Until next time, I'd like to close out by giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to the Most High, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rikakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom and shalom to the whole elect.